Most of us grew up hearing a simple rule for eating better: ditch the fluffy white bread and switch to the dark, hearty brown loaf. You walk down the supermarket aisle, and the packaging reinforces that choice with buzzwords like diet, healthy, and multigrain. These claims are specifically engineered to keep you focused on the front of the bag, distracting you from the nutritional reality hidden in the fine print on the back. The result is a significant mismatch between the health benefits we think we're buying and what is actually inside the plastic wrapper. Food manufacturers often rely on specific regulatory thresholds to categorize their products as healthy, even when the ingredients tell a different story. Take a look at these official safety standards. For a loaf to be legally sold as wheat bread or brown bread, the regulations only require the manufacturer to use 50% whole wheat flour. This means the other half of the loaf can be made of anything else, and usually it's refined wheat flour. This is the exact same processed starch, commonly known as maida, that most consumers switch to brown bread to avoid. By following these minimum requirements, brands are effectively selling you a loaf that is half white bread, disguised by a clever naming convention. If a loaf contains up to 50% white refined flour, it shouldn't look dark or rustic. So how does it get that deep, whole grain color? The industry solves this by using food additives and artificial colorings to fake the aesthetic of a whole wheat product. If you see the codes INS 150A through 150D on the label, you aren't looking at grains. Those are chemical caramel dyes used to paint the dough. The rustic brown color we've been taught to trust is actually an engineered aesthetic designed to trick the eye. Beyond the color, there's the issue of how supermarket bread manages to taste so sweet and stay soft for weeks without molding. This usually comes down to added sugars. In industrial baking, sugar is used to fuel the fermentation that makes the bread rise, but it also serves as a bulking agent and helps balance the acidity of ingredients like vinegar. Identifying these sugars requires a careful eye. Manufacturers use dozens of names, from corn sweeteners and molasses to any ingredient ending in OSE, like fructose, glucose, and maltose. Then there is the issue of shelf life. While natural preservatives like salt and edible oils can retard spoilage, they often aren't enough for mass-produced bread. Instead, factories use Class II chemical preservatives. Look for INS 282, which is calcium propionate, or INS 200, sorbic acid. These are industrial mold inhibitors. These ingredients allow the product to survive a 3-week journey from the factory to your kitchen. It is a formula optimized for a long, mold-free lifespan rather than nutritional density. Now that we've seen the dyes, the 50% loophole, and the industrial preservatives, the verdict is clear. Standard supermarket brown bread is a highly engineered product that prioritizes logistics over health. To find a truly healthy option, ignore the marketing on the front and flip the bag over immediately. Look for the specific legal name, whole wheat bread. Under FSSAI rules, bread with this specific label must contain at least 75% whole wheat flour, a significantly higher standard than generic brown bread. Reclaiming your health requires navigating these exact legal phrases, rather than just reading the boldest font on the shelf. For the best results, look to the Harvard Healthy Eating Plate as a blueprint for daily nutrition. It recommends prioritizing whole grains that have been processed as little as possible, which avoids the need for chemical additives or artificial colors. You might consider replacing store-bought bread with simpler alternatives, like homemade roti or steel-cut oats, which provide the fiber and nutrients that processed loaves often lack. The ultimate takeaway is simple. To find actual nutrition, you have to stop trusting the color of your food and start strictly trusting the data on the label.